Foreign corporations. Let's talk about foreign corporations. Well, the foreign corporation and certificate of authority, what's the relationship there? A foreign corporation is a company formed under the laws of a different state or country from where it operates. I'm going to take a point here. Notice that it said different state. And why is that? Well, because, as we mentioned, entities, whether it's a corporation or any type of entity, LLC, it's formed in a particular state. It's not formed under the United States of America. Well, I guess it indirectly is because each state falls under the United States of America, but you're forming an entity in the state of Ohio, in the state of Arizona, in the state of New Mexico. So you are going to have foreign corporations. A corporation in New York would be a foreign corporation to a state in Michigan. To a company in Michigan. Now, to conduct intrastate business in another state, a foreign corporation must obtain a certificate of authority from that state. This ensures that the corporation complies with local laws and regulations. So just that concept that a foreign corporation is one that is not only in another country, but also in another state. Examples of doing business, these would be maintaining an office or engaging in regular business transactions with a foreign state. Typically qualifies as doing business in that state, which means you need a certificate of authority. A lot of what this is hinting at is what we'll see in the multi-jurisdictional tax issues lesson, which deals with Nexus and if you have to pay taxes in a certain state. So let's say I'm a small burger chain. I only operate in Texas. I mean, I could be a big burger chain with a state that large. And in that sense, I'd only worry about paying taxes to Texas if I need to, pay obviously federal taxes. But once I start doing business in Oklahoma, in Louisiana, and other states around the area, that could necessitate the need to pay taxes in those states, to do other things. And we'll talk about that in that lesson, right? That's called Nexus, is when you have certain activities that also would necessitate a certificate of authority in other states. However, some activities, such as maintaining a bank account, collecting a debt, or hiring employees, are not considered sufficient to trigger the qualification requirement, as they do not involve direct and continuous business operations in the foreign state. You may think, oh, I live in a state, well, I'll just say it, where I lived in New York. Overall, that state is one of the last to get new fast food chains to it, because once you open one location in the state of New York, you are now opening yourself up to a whole world of extra regulations, especially with food, right? You're dealing with a lot of regulations from probably the FDA, but tax-wise also, it opens you up to a whole nother can of worms with a big state. So you are likely going to have a plan before doing that. You got a lot of fast food chains that are just opening up around a state. I'm sure California is the same. Can't say I'm too familiar with that as well. That's an example of why that's the case, right? Oh man, I want my favorite fast food chain to open up in my state. Well, it's probably because your state has a lot of regulations, maybe has a lot of high taxes. And if opening up just one restaurant in that state will trigger Nexus, will trigger a certificate of authority, then that could be incredibly complicated for that company. Hey there! Are you ready to not only pass your CPA exams, but truly understand and enjoy the material while studying? I know it seems impossible, right? Especially to enjoy the material? We'll do it together. Tap into the power of CPA.examprep.ai, where we've got personalized quizzes, multiple choice questions, memorization guides, flashcards, simulations, all tailored to your learning. Our adaptive study planning puts you on the fastest path to success and lifts you back up if you fall behind. Avoid wasting your precious time and money attempting an exam with a low chance of passing, because who wants that? We want to get you through this process as quick as possible. Our exam readiness prediction lets you walk in with confidence, knowing that you're prepared for success on exam day. Thankfully, there's no payment method needed to get started, so why don't you come join us? Visit cpa.examprep.ai and let's achieve your exam success together.